Jaron Boots Ennis gets the win over Xander Zayas and was crowned the unified WBA and WBO super welterweight champion in what could be a contender for Fight of the Year. Now, everyone talking about this fight is going to show you the same thing, the knockdowns, the finish. But if those are the only moments you're looking at, you've missed the actual story. Because there was a stretch in this fight, a real one, where Zayas had Ennis uncomfortable. I mean, genuinely uncomfortable. And what Ennis did about it is the most interesting thing that happened all night. Hi, my name is Jacqui-Lee Pryce, former boxer, and I spent many years in the sport as a boxing coach and judge. So the narrative going in was that this was too much, too soon for Zayas. He's only 23, but honestly, he was the defending unified world champion. So can that ever be a legitimate question? Both men unbeaten. Ennis, a former unified welterweight champion. He moved up, won the interim belt against Lima, vacated to challenge Zayas for more straps in only his second fight at super welter. Ennis is an exquisite counterpuncher. Everyone knows that. His timing, his reactions, that part's a given. That's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about what you might have missed. So let's run it back because the first round already told us almost everything. Round one. Zayas, he takes the centre of the ring. Ennis on the outside in that orthodox stance. We know he likes to switch between orthodox and southpaw. First one to get off is Ennis. That jab, it's piston-like. Jab, double jab to the head, occasionally down to the body. And straight away you can see the hand speed gap. Zayas is reluctant to fire. He's trying to navigate the speed of that jab. And watch this, because it becomes a pattern for much of the fight. Ennis, he throws a jab, Zayas slips inside, goes to the body, and on his straight line exit, he gets tagged, countered with the right hand. And it keeps happening every time Zayas tries to work. He cannot exit cleanly. He gets pinged on the way out. Ennis's counter-punching reactions are very, very quick and on point. There's a flurry of work to the head from Ennis. Zayas, he takes his head off the centre line, deflects them. They're not clean punches, but they keep him occupied, keep him reactive, keep him in defensive mode. And then Ennis switches southpaw. From the southpaw, he flicks out the jab, double jab, tries to land the left hook to the head, keeps Zayas off balance, make him fall short on the counters. And around the minute 15 mark, Zayas tries to punch with him. Ennis counters him on the exit. Again, 1-2, straight down the pipe. Stops him in his tracks. It's beautiful. He literally cannot get out of range without being tagged. And the numbers tell the story of that round. Ennis lands 17 to Zayas's 7. He throws 81 punches. Zayas musters 35. That's not close. That's one man dictating everything. And then the knockdown. I first thought it was a jab, but he actually dropped him with a backhand, straight left from long range, and down goes Zayas. Zayas recovers quickly. Good chin, he doesn't panic. But here's the thing, the movement, the footwork that's supposed to be Zayas' whole game, and already Ennis is taking it away. A brilliant, brilliant opening round. And honestly, I was surprised how quickly Boots unravelled him, because in round one, Zayas had no answers, none. Ahead of the fight, this was a man who was talking about KOing Ennis. You look at his record, he's not a knockout merchant. And as the saying goes, you can't make a puncher. Round two, Boots stays southpaw, Zayas looks recovered, but he's still reactive, creeping in, feinting, trying to find his range. No effect. Now, I'm going to be honest with you about this round because it matters later. Zayas is busier here. He's getting his jab off. He nicks some work, but it almost looks to me like Boots decided to take a round off. Interestingly, Boots has a reputation for using angles, but in round one, you didn't really see it. We see it now in round two. So rather than, going back in straight lines, he's using the angles as an exit route. Ennis is getting caught with a few silly shots. And, I don't mean this as a disrespect to Zaias, but, Ennis is in no trouble. He's waiting a little bit too long, allowing Zaias to dictate, to initiate. But it looks intentional, using it almost as a recovery round. And you see it in the corner between rounds. His dad is wanting him to push back, get that rear hand uppercut going. But Ennis he just took his foot off the gas. I'd argue he gave that round away. And maybe that's why what happened in round 3 caught a few people off guard. Round 3, Boots switches back to orthodox, back on the outside. Now it becomes a bit cat and mouse. Both fighters put their thinking caps on. And Zaias' counters are quicker now. He's found his range. He's not always scoring, but at least he's letting his hands go. Something has changed for Zaias. He's come out with a bit more, fire in his belly. He probably knows he's 2 rounds down. And watch what he does. He drags this fight into that mid-range, using his shoulder, his forearm to block and nullify Ennis's work, backs him into the ropes. The tables are turning. Boots is backed up. Zaias goes to work, picking him off with a backhand lead hook in that mid-range. Zaias is dictating where the fight is being fought. And this isn't just me saying it. Look at the stats. This is the one round where Zaias outlands Ennis 28-19. So when I tell you he had his moment, this backs it up. Now, interestingly, Ennis suddenly is not as fluid. His timing's off. He goes square on, goes back in straight lines. He gets caught. He is definitely not as comfortable in that mid to close range. And then a lovely bit of work, the last 20 or 30 seconds, he switches back to southpaw, and then suddenly, he's slipping and sliding, making Zaias miss, countering with those bent arm combinations, hooks to the body and to the head. It's really beautiful to watch. He boxes his way out of danger. Really good round for Zaias though. His first of the fight. Between rounds, his corner tells him, don't wait too long. And when you go for that second attack, take it from the side, not head on, change that angle. Because like I said, he's getting caught when he exits in straight lines. A great round for Xander, a real confidence booster going into round 4. Round 4, this is where I want to show you something a lot of people watching the fight will have missed. A real tactical pattern. So going into this round, Zaias is live. He's growing in confidence. He's working the body. He's switching, head to body, nudging Ennis back into that mid-range. He's worked out that it's an uncomfortable place for Boots. And here's the thing. It's not about the range. It's about the stance. In orthodox, his timing's off. He goes square on. He gets caught. Switch him to southpaw though, and he's got so much more flow. He slips, he slides, he makes Zaias miss, gets his own shots off. Same range, different fighter. And there's a second layer to it. He's comfortable inside when he's dictating the fight. It's only when he's on the defence he's not as comfortable. 2 conditions, southpaw on the front foot. So watch what Boots does in round 4. He's willing to take one to throw one. He presses the gas, he changes gear. And here's the key, it's not just about stance. When he throws his barrage of hooks, head and body, he does it while he's dictating. Press him forward here. But it's the fact that he's controlling it that matters, not which way he's moving. It's not the stance saving him there. It's that he stopped defending and started dictating. He's making that read himself, no panic, interpreting it in real time. Give Zaias his due, his timing's better here, he's finding his range, the target switching head to body, using those angles, he's having success. And here's what Zaias did well this round. He took away Ennis's jab, forced him to fight that mid to close range. In the latter part of the round, that range-finding jab from Boots, it disappeared. Xander's been strong at that range during this fight. Now, Xander had success in that mid-range, no question. That's where he outworked Boots in round 3. But here's the trap. He could score there in flurries, but he couldn't live there. Long range is where, Xander scores without getting hit back. The moment he plants his feet in the pocket, he's trading with the bigger puncher. And against Boots, that's a dangerous place to be standing. One honest thing about Boots while we're here, people said before the fight, he doesn't move his head. And it's true, he uses his feet, he uses his hand defences, he rides the shots, but he doesn't often take his head off that centre line. So when he momentarily switches off, he gets caught with silly shots. Hey, it's not perfect, but a Boots round. Round 5, Boots on the outside, back in orthodox, pokes a couple of jabs, head and body. Zaias goes to punch with him, gets countered with the right hand, all at long range. Boots back to dictating the pace and the range. Zaias draws him into that mid-range again. He's having success nullifying Ennis's work in there. But Boots gets a little careless, a little emotional. He starts throwing on emotion rather than using his IQ. Some lovely exchanges in the pocket, both men having success. And it's almost like Ennis is saying, okay, if you want to go there, let's go there. Let's have it. And it turns into a firefight. And it drops Xander. And it's one of them when you think, where did that come from? It's a short, sharp, lead hand uppercut. Absolutely on the button. And you can see it in his face. He gets up, but he's unsteady. This is the first time you see in his eyes he's been hit with a real one. A proper, hard, crisp, powerful shot. And this was Ennis's best round of the fight statistically. 63% of his power shots landing. When the firefight came, he won it comfortably. What follows is a sustained attack. Hooks to the body, uppercuts, hooks to the head. Ennis smells blood. He's loading up for the finish, and sometimes when you load up, it doesn't come. Fair play to Xander. He's hurt, but he manages to stay on his feet. And then second time, Xander tries to, right uppercut to the body, and the counter punching time is just beautiful. As he throws, he's wide open. Lead hand uppercut from Ennis, southpaw short and sharp, and it's gorgeous. The timing, the power, devastating, puts him on his backside. Now, I'll be honest with you, I think Xander got up a little bit too quickly, both times. He was still unsteady, and that might have cost him down the line. But fair play to him, he survives the round. What a chin, what an absolute granite chin to be dropped like that and keep getting up. Boots got really greedy at the end of that round, winging in hooks to the body, but that shot that hurt Xander was that short, sharp uppercut. A fantastic round from both of them in their own way. Round 6, Ennis takes the centre of the ring in southpaw, Zaias on the outside. He looks like he's recovered, he's up on his toes and his feet are back, he's on his bike, he's pivoting, he's changing angles, spinning off the ropes. This is, footwork to survive, recover. He's just not throwing, he's getting caught, he's getting cut off, he's getting walked down. Ennis has taken away his weapons, feet and hands. When Zaias jabs, Boots slips inside, takes it away, and is blocking a lot of Zaias' work now. He's comfortable, he's back in control. Lovely offensive, defensive work. And Xander's wearing out, cagey, reluctant to engage. And when he does throw, he's up on his toes. There's no power behind them. He's being softened up. Round 7, straight away, Ennis takes the centre of the ring, picking up where he left off. Long range, straight shots down the pipe. And now watch that bodywork pay off. Every time Zaias throws a jab or a lead hand hook, he gets punished to the body. That brings his hands down, and Boots goes upstairs, short, sharp, winging hooks to the head. Ennis is enjoying himself now. He's walking Zaias down. He's cutting off his escape route. And here's the thing, he's not even rushing it. He's taking his time because there's nothing coming back. It's like someone playing with their prey. He's just dismantling him. And just before the finish, he throws those short, sharp uppercuts. But it's the rear hand uppercut that seals the deal. On the button, and down goes Zaias to his knees. You can see it in his eyes. He's had enough. He looks at his corner, and off screen the towel comes in. Now, Virgil Ortiz said afterwards that Zaias quit. I disagree, and I think that's a bit harsh. He looked to his corner, and his corner made the call. A good call, in my opinion. That's not quitting, that's a team protecting the fighter. So, let me tell you what this fight actually was. Because it wasn't just a box puncher beating a volume puncher. Zaias found the one thing that gave Boots trouble. Catch him in that orthodox stance, backed up, and his timing slips. And he found it in round 3. He had his moment. But Ennis didn't avoid his own discomfort. He solved it. He switched southpaw to win that range. He went to the body to take the legs. Then he took his time and broke him down. A systematic breakdown. And there's a question I keep coming back to. Zaias took the fight to Ennis for most of the night. He pressed. He dragged it into that mid-range. Which makes me wonder, did he think that Ennis couldn't fight on the back foot or at mid-range? Pre-fight, Zaias did say something about Ennis never been tested, been under real pressure, and that he intended to make him uncomfortable for the first time. Because if that was the plan, paid off in the pockets, but ultimately the wrong read. Ennis is dangerous coming forward and going back. And the movement, the footwork that was supposed to be Xander's whole game, Ennis took it away in round 1. Post-fight, Zaias said, he hurt me a little bit in the first round, so my legs went away for a couple of rounds, so I needed to find them. Now, is Boots perfect? No. He gets hit a little too easy sometimes. He momentarily switches off. He pulls out in straight lines. He gets caught. But at this point, I'm just being picky because here's what he showed us. When he's uncomfortable, he comes through. He's a great finisher. And the beautiful part, he generates that power by being relaxed. So where does he go from here? Boots has made it clear that he wants to be undisputed at super welter. Anyone on the belt is on his hit list. The logical next step is Sebastian Fundora to unify. There are rumours, negotiations for that have already started. The fight everyone really wants, Virgil Ortiz Jr. It's the big money one, but it's tangled up in Ortiz's, legal situation with Golden Boy. So that one will have to wait. Let me know what you think below. And Xander, listen, no shame in this. His stock's risen. This isn't the end. He can reset. The real question is whether he moves up to middleweight and starts over. Adamez, Lara, Alimka, Nula, all tasty fights. But here's what I keep coming back to. Would it have been different if Zaias had fought his fight? If he moved, boxed out of range, stayed out of the firefight? Or did Ennis simply never let him? Because the moment he took those feet away in round 1, maybe the rest was already written. If you want an authentic voice in boxing, analysis from someone who's been in the ring, in the corner and on the cards, like, subscribe, turn on notifications, drop a comment below, and thanks for watching.